Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna be getting started here in just a moment. Just do my final couple checks over on my modeling desk. Just getting the windows brought over to the great screen. Bam. And bam. Hell yeah. Yeah, getting into it in just a moment. Gonna be building the, what's this big string of numbers? It's the RX-78GP02A, commonly referred to as the Gundam Physalis. An older Gundam series that I haven't seen, but it was a model that I had a toy of when I was a kid. So I'm very nostalgic for the design, even though I don't have much connection with the source material behind it. Yeah, just give me a second here, and I'll be getting into... Let's go to the main camera first. There we go. Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. Back over on the modeling desk. Cleaned up some of the extra models a bit. Moved two of the smaller Armored Core models into the cabinet behind me. And I got the Epion in my transform state there. Yeah, this is what we'll be working on today. The Gundam Physalis. Let's get up on the desk camera. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the title, it is a older kit. It is from 1998, which puts it probably about a decade older than the oldest kit I've done. I think the oldest other kit I did was like 2008. So it's about a decade older than the oldest kit I've done up to this point, which would have been... Which one would that have been? That probably would have been... Probably one of these wing kits. I think. No, these wing kits are like 2014. I think these might be the oldest kits I've done, actually. So yeah, this would be older by about 15 years then. Yeah, I had a action figure of this guy when I was a kid, so I'm very nostalgic for the design. As you can see, it's very bulky. I can't really show you the side panels because the box is too big. Actually, let me show you what I do want to show off the side panels on the box a bit. So let me go back to this camera. Yeah. See, that's what it's going to look like. What's on the side? Yeah. It's got the big old shield, big ass feet, and a big ass bazooka. It's a nuclear bazooka. Yeah, let's get back to the main camera. There we go. Yeah, I did remember to go through this time and take everything out of the bags. This light go with it. Start sorting. One thing I definitely noticed when I was unpacking this is there's a lot of like big pieces. There's not many like panels that are built up from multiple pieces. Like, look at this toe. Look how big the feet are on this thing. It's like feet are the size of the entire torso. Some of these other ones. This is supposed to be 1/100, but I guess the actual like mech itself is much bigger. Some colored pieces, but like, yeah, look at the size of the hands alone. Those hands are huge compared to some of these other ones. And the single biggest piece of plastic I've seen in one of these models, it's like the shield plate. It's like only slightly smaller than my hand. I don't necessarily have small hands. Yep. And yeah, like these ankle pieces are huge compared to how some size some of the regular Gundam pieces. Big panels for the backpack, I assume, and waist parts. Set this aside for a second until I start sorting. Yeah, more panels. the same old, like softer plastic joint pieces. More panels, detail panels. It looks like bazooka barrels, which are all one big piece. That's definitely the first thing I noticed is there definitely seems to be more of a focus on like large pieces rather than a bunch of small pieces building up into bigger pieces. Although there still seems to be that for like the inner workings of the pit, like as you can see down here, over those darker pieces over here. But it seems for the most part, it's a lot of big pieces, much more so than more modern models. Cool. So probably not going to need the weapon parts or the shield parts right away. Still can't get over how big this chunk is. Joint pieces. Well, let's keep the couple color pieces together. Yeah, there's not much color, as you can see. It's mostly white and gray. It's pretty much just these two sheets are colored pieces. And most of the, like, this is almost entirely the feet, from what I can tell. Okay. Yeah, so let's put the weapon and the shield parts over here. Out of the way a little bit. So we won't need those for later. And then we can put these two smaller packs of support pieces here. That. Ooh. Those make a terrible noise scraping at the table. I haven't heard that noise in a while. But yeah. Just noticing, oh, I must have taken the manual out and looked at it earlier. Where did I put that? Oh, let me grab my pile of manuals. It's probably in here. Ah. Gundam Epion we just finished. Let me get this actually closed up. Four. Probably unnecessary distraction, but what do we do? Yeah, okay, I don't need that. I need to find the manual for this one. Oh, there it is, Physalis. So yeah, I must have been looking at it mixed in with the rest of them. Okay. Oh man, that's reflective. Nice. Oh, we're good. What's needed is actually like 2D drawings. It's supposed to be a lore dump, I'm assuming. And so you can tell it's the 90s too, because it's got them really obvious CGI model. I'm actually gonna grab my translator app here real quick. I just want to kind of see what this is actually trying to communicate to me. It just has, it's just the name of these parts? Yeah, like 34 is just barrel. Like this is just saying this is a barrel. Like this is bizarre. It's almost like a technical document for the actual thing, but weird. Definitely a lot more Japanese, just in the amount. It's more like 2D drawing showing the interior compartments. That's actually awesome. Like the underlying machinery. So this has to be painted because I don't imagine this is going to look this good. So we'll see how it looks. We might actually end up doing some painting because these are pretty basic colors. Which wouldn't be too hard to do. Sorry, I'm just kind of enjoying looking through this older manual, seeing like all the 2D drawings are super cool. I say 2D drawings, all the drawings, like these are like actually hand drawn extra stuff. It looks like shield. Yeah, I can't imagine it doesn't look this good by default. This has almost certainly been painted. Well, even like, I don't know if you noticed, this is not white. Like these shoulder parts here are not white. So this has been painted. I wonder if these were white. This is just aging. I can't imagine this is an original, like 98 kit. Oh, it says 98. It's kind of hilarious. These are supposed to be like bright white pieces, like on the modern kits, and this is just how it looks now. I'll have to look that up actually. Wonder if there's any like video footage of older them. Funny. I didn't even realize that. I thought these were supposed to be this color, and then I thought about it a bit. It's like, no, those are probably actually supposed to be bright white. 'Cause yeah, all these ones too. Yeah, it's like an army tan almost. Oh, I ended up making it look pretty cool. Won't look like this though. I will see. If I really don't like how it looks when it's all together, I might take it apart and paint it. That might be my next painting project. As I said, the colors look really simple. Like it's yellow, red, blue. And then if I want to do all this stuff, it's white. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it looks when it's together. Make the decision from there. But we are starting from scratch. Yeah, there's way more Japanese in these instructions. I'm noticing. Like a lot of the times, even at the point we're at with those ones, like 10, 15 years later, it's like probably half as much actual Japanese on the page. Like all these little title cards are not here. It just does a lot better trying to convey what it wants with just images. Yeah, I guess we're gonna get started with the head first. Oh, now I need to learn which of these. Oh, the great fun part is to start a new build, where you have to learn which sprues, which letter. Oh, and it's not. It's like written on it rather than punched through like it is on modern sprues. That is something else different. Yeah, they're all like that too. F, B. Oh, B is what we want. I wonder if the plastic cuts any differently. Wait, gray? Oh yeah, it is gray. feels softer. Maybe a little bit. Hard to say. F is this little guy here. Yeah, this plastic feels soft. Maybe we'll see. We'll see as they keep going. Maybe it's just me. Going a little bit too, get some more pieces. Looks like we'll have to do a sticker application right away. 10. Let me get this focus stuff figured out. There we go. That should be a better focus now. You don't really need to be focused down there. We'd rather just be mildly in focus. Hell yeah. And with that focus situation figured out, I can get this on a better screen for you see chat. Haha! G and L, eh? God. D. It not being see-through definitely makes this harder. You have to like get H, H. K. I. Okay. J. G. There we go. That's one of these, right? Yep. G60. Oh man, look at the size of this guy's head. Actually, no, that's about the same size as the head, so it just has weird oversized portions. It's just a difference in proportions then. Interesting. Look for his chin. It should be here somewhere. There it is. Last of all, there was, what was it? L. These are J's. This is the piece. Oh, he still uses the same designation for that. That's funny. Did I already pass by L? No. A. C. E. L. Or is L this little... Oh, L's this little clear piece. I see. So that's where the eye goes. I'm going to do sticker application right away, aren't I? I need to fashion a new sticker applicator because my old one was worn down. Yep, right there. I am firmly on board of putting the eye stickers on now. After my last couple builds, they turned out really well for them. I don't know about these stripes, because that's supposed to cover the yellow on the shoulders, I think. I think I might probably end up painting that. Oh, it's not a bad shady yellow, but we'll see how it actually looks in the model. All right. Forgot. This translator app open over here. There we go. Yeah. Okay, well, let's do that sticker applicator. Grab a toothpick and don't need a ridiculous. Yeah, let's grab. Oh, here we go. Sand stick. sand it down to be rounded. That a little flatter and a little rounder. There we go. Just rounded that off pretty nicely. Start getting pointed again. I think I'm just going around in circles between making it pointed and round. There we go. That should be good. So that'll be what we use for sticker application. So now move on to our cleanup cuts. Yeah, definitely this plastic feels softer. Like I wonder if, like, as I said, like I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be white. They are definitely not white anymore. So I wonder if there's like actually like a composition change that's going on in the plastic. Yeah, because that feels soft. Especially with these really sharp ones. Feels kind of slimy actually. I don't get real smooth. Careful with this, so it honestly feels so soft. And I could very easily just slice through the whole thing. There we go. Plus side, it'd be so soft to make this cleanup action. Just gotta be careful about it. Just this piece appears right there, I guess. Yeah, like this is so soft. Good. Best, but it's on the bottom side, so. Oh. Nib jar. I almost wonder, especially for these small pieces I'm putting in the head and stuff, that might be a pain in the ass to get out later. Should I maybe paint these pieces now? Kind of wanted to wait till I was done the model to see how it actually will look. But I wonder if this kind of tannish, old computer look. That's absolutely it's the beige of old electronics. It's kind of all I can think of when I see it. Like especially these small pieces like this part. I was wondering if it'd be better to paint it now before I get it together. Now that I think about it as like an old beige of old computers, there's a certain might look not bad together. It's being kind of a those definitely have their certain charm to them, especially if they were actually like kept clean. It was just aging from sunlight and stuff. I don't have a lot of white paint though. This would take quite a bit. Especially for how some of these bigger panels. Where are you? Oh, you guys are not charged. That must be why. Oh, sorry. Off camera here a bit. Yeah. I have like titanium white. I guess it depends on how much these actual head pieces, because it's going to be, these shell parts are also going to be there. Anything else here? G, J, and A. Whitish gray pieces. So there is another J piece being used here. What is this anyway? This almost feels like it's part of the arm, but I don't know why it's building it now. Oh, it is. Like, I don't. This. Oh, okay. This is like additional detail parts. Like it basically has parts already semi put together over here, and you're just supposed to look in this column to see the details of how that part gets put together. Yeah, this is laid out differently than the more modern ones. Yeah, this is like a chest piece. This is like parts of the arm. Oh. Okay, yeah, this shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to take apart afterwards if we need to. That just sits on the end here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this isn't that bad. If we need to paint it, take it apart, we'll do so. Sorry, I'm just kind of in my own head thinking whether I want to do that or not. Just get it painted and out of the way now. So I definitely need to get more white paint if I wanted to do that for some of these larger panels. But the larger panels are also the ones I'm less worried about because I can do those later. these small pieces now when I'm putting it together. Yeah, it should be the most difficult thing in the world to take it apart if I want to paint it. Putting it together first will give me a sense of what pieces overlap, so when I do paint it, I can not waste time painting parts that aren't even going to be visible. That sounds good. Yep, that'll be something we think about another time. Wish I had to open this up, take a look at it first, because I would have like picked up some more paint if we were gonna do this, and that would actually be my plan. But I know for a fact I don't have enough to do what I want right now. So let's start putting it together, and then we can worry about painting it later. I think I have all these parts. Good. So sticker application. Sticker almost looks way too big for this piece. Also, this is going to be a pain in the ass. So go ahead and do this to start. So, no, otherwise I won't be able to remotely be able to hold this. There we go. Where's my tray? There. Yeah, let's grab that tray so I have something to stable this to. So where's the... Yep, for the nose. It's on this side. Okay. Remember from last time, the winning strategy for this was to line up the end piece first. Put this in an awkward position for the camera, sorry, just to make sure I can see what I'm doing. Doing good so far. Too high. And don't go too far. Not perfectly center, but it's pretty dang close. Now I use that rounded edge. Make sure it's applied. Since it is a little farther one direction, I'm going to apply all the pressure in the opposite direction. So if it does slip, it slips in the direction we want it to go. So far, this is looking like it's lined up really well. I think that's one of my better sticker applications so far on stream. Usually definitely struggle with more than this. Yeah, got some eyes. Hell yeah, that went really well. Not perfectly applied, but it's pretty dang close. And especially with the amount of overlap these surrounding pieces have, it should be plenty. Okay. Bring it together. In the middle part? Just the middle part, okay. Low down. Sorry, I gotta get a little closer look. That's with the those hard guys. Okay, good. Insert. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Especially next, that's the main thing I was worried about is whether this like beige part would really clash the other colors, like the reds. That works with the red pretty well. We'll see how it handles the blues and yellows. At least for the reds, it doesn't look like it's gonna clash too much. It's just re-prepping this antenna. Oh, okay, so yeah, these are just like intermediate step pieces on the left side here, and then the actual instructions on the right. Yeah, it's definitely laid out differently. Yeah, needs to really go on here yet until it's ready to go on the other piece. But hopefully this will stay. Oh no. Like I wonder if these grays were lighter before too, because this definitely looks pretty dark. Real funny actually. Almost looks like it's gonna have a slightly alternate color scheme than what they intended to have. But I might not hate the color scheme, so we'll see. Okay, a few more of these pieces. Guess we'll get a front row seat to see how they actually look. Grab those head pieces that are the same color. Gee. Wait, that's a. Wait a minute. Where's that used? Because that was definitely not. Wait, what? I need my translator app because I don't know what's going on here. There's two of these antenna parts, but it tells me to build one here. Translator. Oh. Oh, not, antenna or antenna. Oh, okay. So this is here saying specifically use the antenna or D22. And this just says antenna. So I actually have to start paying attention to look for Japanese words carrying over on this. Actually, understand, make sure I'm not messing things up. So if I did just use D22 here rather than going over here and building the antenna, I would be left with this piece that doesn't have that red detail. Hmm. It does want 23 right here. Super details in the head. Oh, this plastic's so soft. This is saying 25. Oh, okay, because it's 25 and 24 on each side. I can understand that. Gotcha. That's not all that different than normal. They just use a symbol to describe that on the modern ones. These are tiny, though. Oh man, are they ever tiny? Actually can't hit the clippers on the... There they are. These sprues are definitely a lot more sloppily laid out, too. I can tell. You can kind of see some overrun in a lot more spots than you can on the modern kits. Quality control must have been lower. PCM. Okay. Curious if when I cut this, if the underlaying plastic would be like a darker or a lighter shade of white. But nope, it's pretty much this shade all the way through from the looks of it. Probably just like a compositional change in the plastic from time. I don't think like this, that would have been exposed to sun. I think it's been in that box for most of the time. That was like sun fading. Go. Bigger pieces cleaned up. Tiny ones. Plastic definitely feels a little slimy too. It's age, another age thing. Some of them are fine. Some of them are definitely more slimy than others. Bump the camera. Yeah, look how small these pieces are. Very, very careful. Yeah, I like already screwed the side of that pretty tight because there wasn't any room to get the wires in there on the screw. Mild success. Okay. Back parts. Neck joints. Excuse me. There. He's just kind of hangs out in front here, looks like. Oh, okay, and the other piece will go over and put in place. Oh, I see. Goes into the back of this front piece first. Bad color separation. Wish that red didn't peek through so much, but actually maybe that's intentional. Oh yeah, you can see that red on the actual model, so that's totally intentional. I wish I put my stickers a bit lower. They're definitely a little high on the thing. Lower that down a little bit on my part, or not too late. It's on there pretty good. Oh well, it doesn't look that bad. If really bugs me when I go to paint this, I'll take it apart and fix it. Yeah, that's not too bad. Especially when the rest of the helmet's on there, it should be fine. And now these ones on the fronts. These like inserted vents are definitely a different style. A lot of the modern kits still have a piece that come in from behind to do that vent appearance. These just kind of slide in the side here. It would appear so. Ah, there are some awkwardly sized pieces. What? How'd that? That's not how that goes in. Oh my god, if I had that piece of pollen, I would never have found it. Something like that? Yeah, that's right. One more on the side. Yeah, these little insertable fins are definitely a unique design thing compared to the modern ones. Like I said, the modern ones usually just have an underlying piece that slides inside. And we'll put these in, whereas I can see why. This is much more of a pain in the ass than how it is on modern kits. But the effect's pretty good. Still on the back of the head. Oh, you got a fat head, buddy. Look how deep that head is. Cool. Front. And needs more. This beat. This beat. Trying to remember. $19. These two pads here. More small pieces. More slippery ass plastic. Yeah. Tires just sliding all off this stuff.
Are there more Gundam pilots like me?
Hey, Maze! Welcome! Thank you for the
Wish I
raid.
could meet 'em. All of them.
Hope you're having a lovely evening. Welcome, welcome. I am working on a much older model kit. Hey, Telexieth! Welcome! Thank you for joining me. Hope you're enjoying Maze's raid. And Whiskey Ghoul, good to see you as always. What were you working on tonight, Maze? Oh, I'm diving into a much older model kit than the ones I usually do. Oh, nice! Yeah, it's always these in particular for me were my example of like really nice quality tools for this stuff. These cut so much more better than these ones, just because they're much higher quality and they're like these are a double blade, like they're a blade on both sides, whereas this one is just a single blade with a stop on one side. It cuts so much nicer. So I understand what you're talking about with like professional tools feeling really different. Yeah. But I'm doing a much older kit here than usual. I think before this, my oldest kit was from like early 2010s. This one is from 1998. So much so, I'm pretty sure these pieces are supposed to be like bright white. They are decidedly not bright white. So I think once I get it together, I might end up taking it apart again and painting it to make some of this up. But I kind of wanted to see how it looks when it's all together. Because it kind of is giving off the like old computer, the like beige of an old computer kind of feel to it. And it actually isn't clashing with the colors too badly. So I'm kind of interested to see how it looks with this just together as is, and then I'll probably end up taking it apart and painting it. Yeah, that's why I was kind of curious about getting it together and seeing how it looks with this color. But this also seems like it might be a fairly attractive painting project, because I like looked at the pictures they have it. It's like this is gonna look nothing like this. It's like this is all a much different color gray, and like there's a lot less lining on it than it is. So I think I am probably going to end up painting this kit. And it's fairly simple colors. It's red, yellow, blue. It's like a little bit of green here. So I think it might be a decent project for my next painting project. But I'm going to get it together first, because I didn't think about this beforehand. And I don't have nearly enough white paint right now to be able to do that on stream tonight. So it'll probably be for next week. Either that or I'll get it all together and then I'll do additional streams where I paint it. Yeah, welcome everyone. If you haven't joined me before, I'm Handset. I do some of the plastic model kits about once a week. And play games the other 3 or 4 other nights a week. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, I was actually counting through my kits. This is like the 10th of these kits I will have done on stream. Went through and counted my stash of nibs. Trying to figure out where I was in my model count number. Oh, I was putting it sideways, that's why. This. you go. Yeah, it's been interesting to see some of the difference of like the older kit. Hey, congrats on the first maze. Because like one thing I definitely noticed is there's a lot more like big pieces on this. Like it seems to be mostly consisting of putting together fairly sizable pieces. Like even some of the joint pieces are fairly big chunks, whereas a lot of these would be built up from like 2 or 3 smaller pieces on modern kits. Especially like these big like shaped pieces of plates. These would almost certainly be a bigger piece. This would be a separate piece that snaps on, and these would probably be other pieces that snap on in slightly different colors. Probably just to simplify their molds. But I did find it interesting how much big pieces this kit has in terms of just the individual sides of the pieces you're putting together. Hey, there's a hydrate. Let's redeem that. Nice deep swig. Thank you, Maze. Complete that. Go. Cool. Well, I think that's pretty much the head done on this. Another thing I noticed, the instruction manual's like laid out slightly differently. Like it has like the main construction parts here, but they also just have pieces labeled here. That's like over here is where you find out how to build these pieces, and you just have to basically compare the Japanese on each side. So it's definitely less international friendly, the older kit. But on the other side, what it has the modern ones don't have is it doesn't have sick hand-drawn illustrations for like interior components and stuff. Like modern kits don't have nearly any of this stuff. Like all these 2D hand illustrated pictures showing interior parts. Yeah, what do I want to do next? Because it also looks like these instructions kind of just jump around all over the place. I guess we'll start with these hands and arms next. Just follow the instructions the best we can. Yeah, I didn't notice the first time I looked through it, but when I opened it up to look through on stream, that's definitely the thing that became immediately noticeable to me is like all the 2D illustrations. Yeah, the full model ones. Looks like it's straight out of pictures from the anime. Yeah, let's keep rolling. Let's leave the hands, because I don't really know what type of hands I'm going to want. Or are these already pre-constructed hands? Let me look here. Still figuring out where. Getting my letter association locked in. Here we go. Okay, so these are like fully constructed hands that you can put on already. Let's build one ourselves. Well, thank you very much for the raid, Maze. I hope you have a lovely rest. Say hi to Jaster for me. Have a lovely night. D5, D9. Like this hand construction is way more involved than the modern hand construction. The modern hand construction is usually like 3 pieces. This is like 3 or 4. 6 is what we need for that other side. Let's do this one at a time. Oh, I forgot he was on a business trip. Yeah, he mentioned that last time we hung out. It completely slipped my mind. Go. Oh wow, he has like a index finger, like a posable index finger. That's actually more advanced than the modern ones. That's on a different sprue. V10 and V3. Yeah, the sprues themselves, though, definitely look a little rougher than modern sprues. You can tell they improve some of their processes to make higher quality stuff. You can see a lot of like mold lines and rough spots on some of these. Nothing that really takes away from it too much, and on the like high detail pieces, it doesn't seem to be as bad, but it's definitely a little more noticeable. There we go. Yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, I don't really have a whole lot of affinity for the actual series this model is from. But when I was a kid, right around when I was originally doing these Gundam models, I had an action figure of this guy. So I have a nostalgia for the design more than the actual like character the mech is. I really like the huge shield and bazooka it has, or I did when I was a kid. It still kind of appeals to me aesthetically wise. How much of that is nostalgia? Who knows? So we start asking that question. We start asking the question of how much this entire thing is nostalgic. Because it's quite a bit. But I do find the general like model construction process fairly relaxing. I compare it a lot to like my sister's super into doing puzzles, and I kind of feel it's the same thing where it's like, I guess puzzles kind of have that aspect where you're trying to figure out what the picture is, but a lot of the times it's just matching pieces, figuring it out that way. And with this, you definitely have like an instruction manual telling you how to put everything together, but I find it's still the kind of the same like relaxation time passing thing as doing a puzzle. Because especially when you get like decent doing puzzles, it eventually comes down to the same thing. You're basically following patterns over and over and over. It might be an interesting thing to do someday is try to do one of these blind with the instruction manual. Imagine I could probably figure it out. I definitely probably do it on one of the like really low end kits that don't have as many parts though. Seems like this would be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare to do with a high end kit that has like thousands of pieces. Trying to figure out how everything goes together. Hey Atmo, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely evening. Working on a fairly old plastic model kit. So far I've pretty much just got his head done. But I'm working on the rest. Starting with some hands. Fingers. And the inside of the hands. Yeah, this hand instruction is definitely fairly different from the modern ones. The modern ones mostly just have this a center plate and a back plate that you stick like a thumb into. And the hand snaps on the other side. This has like a whole like double-sided construction thing going on. But because of that, it has like a movable index finger, which modern ones don't really have. They usually just have this thumb. And then all this is one piece. This is actually pretty cool. Something different. Yeah, welcome once again, Atmo. Hope you're having a lovely evening. So you're doing pretty good in the tower. You're up to like, what was it, 135? Somewhere around there? I think I pretty much finished farming up my old levels this morning. I pretty much got the demon medals all the way up to 90. So now I'm pretty much ready to keep climbing and trying to get them as I go. Just gotta do that whole thing again, don't I? It's not going too bad on my end. Having a nice chill model and building night. As I mentioned, this is a much older kit than most of the ones I've done so far. It's about 15 roughly years older than the oldest kit I had done before this point. It's from the late 90s. There it is. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. As I said, I pretty much just spent the day going from 50 to where I was at 95, getting all the medals I missed. So now I'm ready to start climbing up higher, improve my score. I figured I kind of wanted to go back and just get everything I had already done about as good as I can before I get new characters. That way I don't have to worry about going back and constantly redoing them. What am I looking for here? Okay, sometime. I've been really liking my Miyabi Enigi team with Astra. I can get really smooth with that. I've actually been trying it out with Bernice and Miyabi too for like Fire Week enemies. I kind of realized that Miyabi's probably the character I know the best about their like immunity windows. Probably the most survivable one I have for tower. For not getting hit at least. Oh, I'm sure. That's why I'm not really rushing into like climbing. I'll figure I'll probably just end up doing like a 10-4 section a day or so for a little bit. Just focused on trying to get as good a score on it as I can. But I'm looking forward to hopefully on Sunday. I'm really hoping on Sunday I'll get Yuza. So that is one of the things I've noticed with my team compositions is I pretty much only use Astra for support. So I wouldn't mind having a little more flexibility on that end of things. I use Nicole occasionally, but just Astra just makes like changing characters so goddamn easy. Makes your rotation so simple. Yeah, I definitely find my Miyabi. I did play some Yishuan games, but I haven't really found. I think Trigger is probably my best pairing with her. But as I said, I don't really have a good support to go with them, so maybe when I get Yuzho, that'll be that. I've been mostly doing my Miyabi teams with either Yanagi, Vivian, or Bernice, depending on what the weakness is for the boss. Or if I'm feeling nice and spicy, I basically do double support with Miyabi, and she just constantly getting missiled with quick assist back into it, which is fun, but struggles a little bit against. It's better against like packs of enemies more than individuals. I've found, although the defense shred on Nicole's still really good. And I really don't notice too much of a downside between her and when I use her and Astra. It's literally just the flow of the rotation is why I use Astra mostly. Scroll done. Finger time. Yeah, definitely been using the Yanagi a lot more today than I have been some of the previous times, and I definitely want to get her engine next patch, next banner. That's gonna be my main thing going for that banner. I think is her engine. I forget which engine I have on her, but it's not nearly ideal. The lower rank ones for sure. Yeah. No, this way. Almost put the index finger on backwards. Comes together. Yeah, this hand construction is definitely unique on this compared to any of the modern kits I've done. Maybe in the higher grade kits it still uses something similar to this, but I haven't really done a perfect grade yet. I think higher master grade's the highest I've gone. We got a pair of grippers. Or manipulators, as the manual says. Nice! Yeah, I just find, especially pairing her with Miyabi, it just allows you to fuel Miyabi's like charge attack so much more efficiently. By just having this disorders you can basically have on at will. Yeah, I'll probably wait to see how much it's going to cost me for an engine, and then go from there. I might go for an M14 if I get the engine fairly early, but I also wouldn't mind saving up for like Orpheus either, or what. I don't know what the reruns are going to be. Although we're starting to get to the reruns where it was after I had started playing now for the reruns, and it's stuff I mostly already have. I imagine I got pretty lucky with my pulls. There aren't a whole lot of characters I've missed. And those I don't have are pretty much deliberate choices. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay. Let's get some of these intermediate pieces going. It usually depends on the complexity. I've gotten a little faster. It used to take me about 3 streams to do it, which would be about 12 hours roughly. But I found recently I can manage it in about two and a little bit. So I've gotten it to be about, it's 10 hours a kit roughly. And I definitely also probably go a little slower because I'm talking on stream, but that seems to be about what it is for the complexity of kit I usually like. Oh, they're pretty fun. As I said, I kind of treat them like doing puzzles almost, but the end result is also like a decently cool little action figure type thing you can do. And the one thing I do like is like these are all superposable. Like that's part of the charm of them, is that they actually have like real good moving components on all the joints and stuff that make it really easy to pose them really well. Where am I here? Let's go. But yeah, and the nice thing too with them is that it's all snap fit. There's like no real glue you need to use. Most of them, like especially the modern ones, you don't need to use paint. Like they usually come with enough different colors that they look good without painting them. And I like honestly, the only thing you really need for a tool to do these is just one of these snippers. Like I have 2 because I have one that's like much higher quality for doing like cleanup cuts. But in reality, this is all you need, and even this isn't necessary. You can absolutely do it with just like an X-Acto knife. And that's just to clean up the leftover plastic when you remove it from the sprues. After that, it's literally just all snaps together. 10. Is this H? No, this is D. God damn. Oh, here we go. These are what I'm looking for. Yeah, and that was the thing with like the tanks and battleship plastic model kits. A lot of those require you to like glue stuff together, and same with like Warhammer miniatures and stuff. Although those are less hard to fuck up because it's very much just putting puzzle pieces together with that. Those are kind of like a weird in between where they have snap fit principles to them to kind of make them easier to fit together, but you ultimately do need glue. Whereas these are purely held together just with snapping pressure. 9 or 10. Yeah, this older kit isn't as good an example of it because it has like a lot of these sprues just have huge pieces of plastic on them. But a lot of the more modern kits, it's actually kind of fun because like it's almost entirely like small pieces like this, and it's just constantly coming together to build up bigger and bigger pieces. It's really satisfying to see the end result. Here, the other arm. Go. Yeah, like some of the pieces like these ones, these are like the joint pieces where most pieces like connect to each other, or they're like a soft rubber. So all the pegs that go in this are actually slightly bigger than this hole. So it's like a really tight fit, but will actually like have a little bit of slide because this is like a softer material than the peg that goes inside it. So most of the joints have one of these at the center of it connecting the two pieces to allow a bit of movement. That's how most of the postability comes out. Looking for K. JK down here. Two of these. Oh yeah. These are the shoulder joints. As I said, this is kind of usually the one thing I've noticed is like, let me grab a more modern manual. Where's that Buster one? That was the most recent one, I think. Well, let's just do the model I just finished. This Gundam Epion. You can see the instructions on this flow a little better. Like it's actually the thing I just noticed is it's actually left to right on these ones. Whereas this one from 15 years earlier is right to left in Japanese. But you can kind of see how it has like a lot more separation. Like the instructions for building these little shoulder pieces are kind of randomly over here. And you just have to look and see it's the same word. In Japanese, that's not a problem because you can see, oh, it's the same. But when you're not Japanese, it's a little harder to notice. Whereas on the more modern ones, you can tell they're a little more catering to non-Japanese audience. Like there's a lot less Japanese overall on the manual. And it just straight flows. Like all the instructions for, oh, how do I build this piece? It's right here. It's a lot more, makes sense just at a glance. Oh, they wanted to appeal to the overseas market more, and they did. Like, no, it's theirs. The one I couldn't actually find it when I was looking over there, but I have like a really, really new one, and it's actually hilarious because there's almost no Japanese in it anymore. They removed most of the Japanese, included any of the parts that are Japanese. There's English right beside it. The most modern ones are absolutely meant to be English focused more than anything, it seems. Oh, this chair just keeps catching on this tray. Give me a second here. I'll pull this out a bit. There. Much better. And once they're off the sprue, I just use a little sharper single-sided pliers just to clean up the cuts. You could absolutely do this with the same pliers you cut the main pieces off. This just has a little sharper blade and a little more precision. So I use it just to get a nice clean cut on the finish. I could see that. Because then we won't get ignorant English parents demanding refunds for the backwards books they buy for their kids. Well, it makes sense for something like this, where it has, like, this in particular has such a demanding overseas audience, but I don't see stuff like manga, like straight up manga, ever being originally published left to right. I can't see that ever making the change. Still always going to be private. I think that's going to stick around for a while. Didn't they try at one point doing the whole reversing manga stuff and people fucking hated it? Definitely remember picking up manga when I was like a much younger kid that was like transposed basically. Cool. I was just thinking to myself, I haven't seen that in forever, so it must not have been popular. And then I thought about it as, oh, it's just extra. I mean, that's just more money the publisher has to spend that they can just not and do it the original way. So that makes much more sense of why it went away. Oh man, this soft piece does not like going into these holes. Ugh. There we go. And with the pliers, just make sure it's all the way in. There we go. Yep. Okay, that went in. Good, good, good. That shoulder's very tight, though, I will say. Maybe I should try manipulating that a bit before I put the other side on, so it's not so tight. Back and forth a bit. Just to loosen it up so it's not as stiff when I actually get the rest of the arm on it. So I notice if the joints are too stiff, might start like pulling apart the pressure fit rather than actually turning the joint if it's too stiff. But I find just doing that, like working it back and forth a half a dozen times, tends to prevent it from being too stiff. It's also something I think they smooth out with modern kits, because this definitely feels way stiffer than any joint I've tried on a modern kit. Could just be aging in the plastic as well, to be completely honest. Interesting to see. Like definitely some of this plastic feels way softer than I'm used to, but I think that's more a case of how long, how old it is. Okay, probably good enough. Kind of went oblong on me. Get this other one together. Oh, that's already moves way easier than the other one, just from that little work I did earlier. Sweet. Shoulders. Yeah, like this is like construction flow is a little different than what I'm used to. It's way more about like getting small pieces together and then putting those all together, whereas there's much more of a directed flow. Modern kits, this one's kind of jumping around from making small pieces to combining them with other pieces. Migi and Hidari. Few kanji I can remember. Well, 11 and 12. Okay, looks like we're getting... These are the elbows, it looks like we're getting together here. But I'm not going to cut... I'm going to do them individually because there's a right elbow and a left elbow. So I want to make sure I don't mix up the sides. R. This uses way more of these like soft plastic pieces too. The ones of these you get with modern kits are much smaller. R right there. Beat up the nubs on this one. Nice and easy. Oh. That one's not as stiff. So I want to loosen it up a little bit. Okay. The other one together too while we're at it. Oh, excuse me. $11 and $12. This kit's definitely going a little slower than my usual builds do, but I've also been talking a lot about some of the difference between this and the more modern kits. Kind of waxing and waning on whether I'm going to be painted. I spent a bit of time on there too. S. Gee. these like different joints? Let me look here. This is the only difference between these two elbows. So I'm kind of curious whether it's actually a differently constructed joint or not. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the pegs on the. I see the difference. There's like a peg right there. It's the direction this peg is pointing. Here's the difference between the sides. Yeah, I usually don't have this much resistance getting these soft plastic pieces off. I wonder if that's just how these kits were? Because in order to get the like joints a little stiffer, they made them tighter. They learned on modern kits they need to be a little looser to not wear down. Or if it's because of how the plastics handle over the years. We've got elbows. Okay. What's next? Ooh, it's complete. So get some of these. Yeah, because the reason I think it might have something to do with the like composition and aging of the plastic is these pieces I'm pretty sure are supposed to be bright white. Like I literally think it's supposed to be like this color, which it is decidedly not. I base that on the fact that like if you look at the pictures they sent, obviously this has been painted, but I don't think they went through that much of color to color that much different. Because there's some, I think there's some pictures in here of it like not painted, where it very much is still looks like we. I guess these are probably still painted, but I don't think it was that much of color change. Especially how similar this is to the like beige of old computers. But I guess a lot of that is like sun wear, which theoretically this wasn't exposed to the sun. Seven, 8, and 9 from here, I think. Okay, and these are pretty much the same for both arms, right? Yep, they are. Cool. Losing my space, lose my place. joints on the side. Now we just need internal components. F and L. There's F. They definitely make much more use of these software pieces in these older kits. Or maybe it's just this design, but F and L. Oh. Okay, clean up time. I do really like the huge shield in this guy's design. It's one of the things I have read about this kit, particularly with the bit of research I did on it before I got it. Oh, sorry, my headset turned off there for a second for some reason. I have no reason why. But yeah, they had mentioned that it is kind of incapable of holding its own shield up. You kind of have to brace it on the ground or on its leg a little bit for it to actually hold it up, because the joint's just not strong enough to hold up that huge thing. Probably won't get to see that till next week, unfortunately. I think we'll probably end up getting the arms and chest on this thing finished tonight. Maybe the waist too. We'll see. Then we'll probably finish it up next week. But we still got a couple hours to go tonight, so we'll get as far as we can. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do for stream tomorrow. I was thinking I might show off my factory and satisfactory. Either that or I have... There's been a lot of good roguelikes coming out recently. I've started building a little list. I've already got like 4 or 5 different smaller indie roguelikes on it I wanted to try out on stream sometime. Lone Star has been really good, the bit of it I played at it. There's like an Omelette one I saw. I saw one that was straight up like a basketball card builder game. I always love weird like genre mix games like that. A little deep on that one. Oh wellsies. Yeah, this plastic's really soft compared to a lot of this plastic on the modern kits I've noticed. Which is nice because it makes it super easy to clean up. I just got to be careful because I could probably slice right through some of these pieces without much thinking. Go. I think this is, yeah, once we get this part done, this is the last of the fine construction for the arms, at least. Then we should just be putting everything together. Okay. Cleaned up. Nubs out of there. So we've got a piece. This plastic joint on the bottom. Sure it moves. This plastic joint on the top. Sure it moves clean. Okay. Snaps on there. Snap on the other side. That pinches the other side of this front plate to keep it in place. Where'd I put that? Toothpick. Work that back and forth a bit. Make sure it's not too stiff. Nice. Now for the other one. That's actually a reason. I thought about that earlier. It would be a decent idea to maybe pick up a high-grade kit or something and do a blind build without looking at using the instructions at all. Even better if I don't even see the box. If I don't even know what mech I'm building, I just have to go by just the sprues. It's a halfway decent idea. There we go. It's not that stiff to begin with, so it should be fine. Okay. Putting it together portion. 10 and 11. The proportions on this model are weird, I will say. I know how big the feet are, and these arms do not seem comparably big to how big the feet are. Nope, same ones on the other cheek. No differences. Oh. See. Oh. Down here. Way a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this looks. Like I said, I'm very strongly considering painting this kit because the color palette's fairly simple, and as you can, I'm pretty sure these pieces are supposed to be like bright white. Yeah, but I'm also kind of curious to see how it looks with these kind of like faded pieces because it's definitely giving me like old computer beige vibes, and especially with it being an older kit as well. That might be aesthetically appropriate. But cleanup has been a breeze, this kit, I would say. Especially compared to a lot of the kits I've done recently that have been kind of picky with cleanup and like really easy to leave Mars. This has been a joy. I almost never have to go back for even a second cut on most of these pieces. Usually I get everything I want on the first one. Need a little bit more there. As I just finished saying I didn't need to go back to second cuts. Had to prove me wrong. Okay. Clean up. And some assembly. If I remember correctly, these elbow joints. Oh, missed a cleanup coat on this one. Sorry. Get my hair in the way of the camera. There we go. Okay, cap down. Slides in there. It's a really shallow joint. Usually they're much deeper on modern kits. I want to make sure put the right piece in. Nope. Yes. This is kind of a unique elbow construction. It's a lot different. Well, that's cool. That actually has really good range of motion. I think that's almost not. Oh, it's about 90 degrees, I'd say. Especially for the design. Because usually on that one, it has like the elbow part, and then it has a separate part that connects on top, and then these are just like caps on the modern kits. But this is like all one piece. Kind of sturdy. Don't hate it. The other arm. There we go. Elbow and upper arm. Now, what do we need? J1s. Wrist plates. Anything else I need from this? J6. Put it away. Elbow guide plates. The design of this guy also does seem to be a little more heavily armored than the average design too. So maybe that has something to do with how it's being constructed. Make it seem a bit bulkier. Oh, back of the hand. 4D. H, K, H, D. 11. Go. This is everything we need for these arms, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So actually worked good. Finish up these arms and we'll go for my bathroom break. When we get back, we'll probably be doing headed arm, leg. It's actually kind of neat. This part is what's missing on the modern ones. The modern ones don't have something like this, which is actually kind of useful. Like an index on the side, basically. We'll probably do the chest next. It says it wants us to do the feet first, but I think we'll do the chest first so we can get these arms and head all together before the end of the stream. Yeah. Let's finish up what we're working on first before we start looking too far ahead, though. stuff. Yeah, I mentioned it before, but I don't know if it's the age of these pieces or what. It's extremely easy to make with this kit. Plus, it really seems cut smooth. Not much of a mar behind. Cool. Clean up complete. Yep, okay. Forearm. Straight down. Turn it like this. Line up like this. Perpendicular to where these pipes are. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. There. And the hand installed. And the back plate goes in the hand. There we go. Same for the other arm. Come on. There we go. It actually has pretty good articulation on the wrist. Hold on. Oh yeah, I actually like this wrist joint better than some of the modern ones. A lot of the modern ones just have this ball joint, and it's an extended ball joint, so it sticks out a little bit more, so it has a little more up and down play. But I much prefer this tight ball joint for the wrist, and then a separate hinge for up and down on the wrist. I can see that not having a good. That might be one of the reasons it can't hold the shield very well. Because this hinge doesn't feel super strong. Probably when it's holding this shield, it's probably immediately driven down as much as possible. Still, pretty neat. What do we do here? Okay, we got one of these. Want this one here, right? Yeah. So it has a little bit of turn, but it's mostly restricted by the armor plating. The shoulder plate goes on. How does this go on? Is it going like this or like this? Like this, because it lines up with the. I can see the curve lines up like that. Yeah, it's an interesting design. A lot of the other kits don't have elbow designs like this. The other one. Okay, that definitely fits on one way. Good, that means I put it right on the other one. These are the same. Yeah, these are the exact same. So it doesn't matter which of these arms I put it on. Uh-oh. Yeah, that just completely plastic hand grenade fell apart there. That's because it. Remember how I mentioned how shallow this joint was? That's because I was pushing down and it separated the two pieces. Because it had dead stopped. Okay, that's good to know. Makes it goes back together nice and easy. I'll have to make sure to have a good grip on that whenever I'm manipulating it. Same for the other one. Two halves tight together. Got ourselves some arms. Yeah, this has actually been a fun little design. Like I said, it has some differences in the construction. It's a little simpler than most of the master grades kit I've done before. The results are pretty good. Like I actually really like this like piece of armor plating on the elbow that stays central while the other parts move around it. And like as I said, modern kits don't have this weird like, well, some do I imagine, but at least none of the ones I have done have had like this movable index finger and other hand. Because hand construction is very unique for kits I've done so far. Yeah, what are we gonna be doing next? Yeah, it wants me to go on and start doing leg constructions. Is the next step. But I kind of would like to do something where I can put all, because if I start with the legs, I won't be able to put everything together until pretty much the last step. So just skip it ahead. So yeah, I think I'll do the chest next. Starts here. Couple factors, Indian curry spice that made me pick this. One of them, when I was younger, when I first like did gunplas, probably about 20 years ago, I had a action figure of this kit. I didn't know what series it was from, but because of that, I kind of have some nostalgia for the design. Secondly, I kind of wanted an excuse to go back and do an older kit. And this kind of fulfilled both requirements where I had some familiarity with the design from nostalgia, but also it's a fairly old kit. Like this is from '98, I think, is what the kit trademark on it is. And I had a lot of fun trying out. Like I did this little high grade Shenlong up here. He's a like almost brand new kit from like last year. And I had a lot of fun doing him and kind of comparing some of the difference between him and some of the other kits I've done. So I also wanted to go back and do an older kit, kind of do the same. And as I said, I already have a little bit of affinity for this design. So it kind of worked out in my mind. Although it has been interesting, as I said, like I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be like a much brighter shade of white than they are. So it's one of those things that come with like the age of a kit. Maybe not though, maybe just all the pictures are a bit painted, but yeah, those are the main reasons. Yeah, it's part of it. Wing is the main Gundam. I actually have a lot of familiarity with the lore in it, but it's kind of been fun as I do different kits. Like I did this Buster Gundam, and I went into a big dive into reading up on a bunch of like the seed lore. So I'll probably end up doing that along with this kit, whatever it's whichever source material it is. I have it written down in my notes, but I just don't have those in front of me. Yeah, bodybuilding time. I will say the older kit's not having the punch-through letters, just having the letters written on them. It's made it a little pain in the ass to find the ones I'm looking for. I'll get it locked in though eventually. 8-5. Yeah, it's been fun. As I said, I do have quite a bit of affinity for the design, and it's a lot bulkier than a lot of the designs I've done so far. I need those same ones from this one too. And I do actually really enjoy doing fairly different kits than the ones I've done and seeing what the differences are. Like the elbow construction on this is way different than it is on a lot of the modern kits. arcade. Yeah. I will say that, like, yeah, once again, cleanup on this old kit has been nothing but decent. Maybe it's just because of the age of the plastic or what, but he's a super easy. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's we're familiar with that kit, Ian. We'll look that up. Great. Oh yeah, I can't imagine like older kits with like electronic components. How weird that must be compared to modern. Thought I brought this toothpick. Just way more. Joints. I've been enjoying it though. Like as I said, I really like kind of doing different kits and seeing the differences, even if it is probably objectively worse in a lot of ways. There's charm to it in a lot in other ways. This part I'm not a big fan of. Like having to insert pegs in this. I noticed on modern kits, they seem to increase the tolerance a little bit for inserting the soft rubber pegs into holes. These have been very tight on this kit. That could be an age of the kit thing too. Cool. I already tell this chest construction is going to be fairly unique. Dude. Fold. Oh, there it is. Blind as a bat. Okay, not there. Oh, still this for the chest. Little dude at the bottom of me. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a trend with this kit that I've noticed compared to like modern kits. There's a lot more of like parts that would be like 3 or 4 pieces that are like molded. This piece here would probably be like a cross piece, 2 halves in the center core, and maybe like 1 or 2 other connecting pieces. This they just kind of put it all together. I can kind of see why they changed it because it probably improved the simplicity of their actual sprues for mass production. Oh, what? Oh, on these side pins. It's hard to see. Yeah, this is different shoulder construction for sure. Although it's kind of similar, it's just usually it has this part directly. Whereas this one has built up pegs that basically go to the arms, or the arms have pegs coming into the shoulders. It's stiff. Hey, thanks to hydrate, storyteller. Sounds like a plan. Finish off this water and grab some more here in a second. Delicious. How do you need cooperation for that? Yeah, welcome, storyteller. I said hi to you. I can still see into the cockpit a little bit. That's What's next? BBVB. Great. Thanks once again. Yeah, no, I find that funny too. Like, I understand, like, they include this one, so you have a little guide to show scale. I guess this also kind of works for that, but at least, like, and they always go through the trouble of giving some kind of door that you can open up and look inside if you want to. You almost never will. 2223. I don't know why these are different. So I'm just going to cut one out to start, and I'll install it, and then cut the other out, so in case there is a reason they're different. These are the same. This one was, check the number again, 22. Which is orientate. Oh, it doesn't need this till much later. Why would you get me to cut this out now? Yeah, definitely been improvements to these manuals in their like flow over the years. Nope, sorry. Oh, okay, there. I'm just gonna leave this for now, just so I don't get mixed up with the other one, just in case there's a reason they're different. And I'll continue on with the rest of the instruction and come back to it. Oh. XD. Wait, no, let's get these FPS first, because they're... I said, I kind of have to, like, read and interpret this instructions a little bit, because they don't, like, number the flow, so you kind of have to pay attention to where pieces are hooking up before you actually... Yeah, like, I have to stare on this well. It is not immediately apparent what order it wants you to do things unless you actually kind of pay attention to what order it's going together. Definitely requires a little more thinking than the modern designs. Look at the size of these feet, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed, like, this doesn't make sense. Like, look how long the entire arm is, and then look how big this foot is. This guy's got big old stompers. 1516. Down here. Yeah. But this thing's supposed to be bulky. Like it's supposed to be like an incredibly up armored design because the whole thing with it is the bazooka on its shoulder is supposed to basically fire tactical nukes. So it's supposed to be, that's why it has the huge shield and all the extra armors, because it's essentially supposed to be, because it can't safely guarantee it can get out of range of its own weapon. I do find it hilarious that even in the very minor amount of exposure to Gundam lore I have, I've already seen like 3 separate instances in the story where it's like, we made something to disable nukes. Now we made something that nukes are immune to the disabling thing of nukes. That seems to be the like prop progression in like 3 different series. I guess at a certain point it starts becoming a homage, but or homage rather. Now we can get these pieces out. This plastic still has a really nice, satisfying snap to it. I noticed a lot of the other ones have definitely a little more of a squishiness to them. Man, I've got a collection of nibs down here in my jeans. Every color you can want. It's okay. It's like another connecting piece from its lower part and top part. Interesting. This doesn't move, it doesn't seem like. It seems like literally here just to be like a retaining piece. It's kind of unique. Usually when there's multi-joints like this, it's intended to move. And it's weird, like this is, I mentioned before, it's like there seems to be a trend with this older kit to be a lot less building up small pieces into bigger pieces. But in this instance, this chest is actually a little more complex. Oh, it is and it isn't. Like the core part is less complex because it's made of like 2 big pieces. But like when we build up the chest piece of the modern kits, it's usually like 2 or 3 pieces, whereas this was much more involved with like smaller detail pieces than a lot of modern kits. At least the modern kits I've done. I should preface pretty much everything I say about this. My experience is pretty much only to the kits I've done. K. So that's L. Which one's K? Did we use that? Yeah, A. C. J. K. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if you're around, Storyteller. That's the other difference I've noticed, is instead of having like punch-through letters on the sprues, they just have the letters written on it. So it's a lot harder to just tell at a glance what letter each sprue is, because I actually have to look to see the letter written on it, rather than just it having punched through the letter. welcome, Pharaoh. Good to have you. Yeah, I'm not super experienced myself either. I've only been doing it. I've only been doing it seriously probably for about the last year. Other than that, I used to only do like one model every couple of years. I recently got back into it pretty hard. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, 2 HG kits, nice. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of HG kits. I've pretty much just done the one little Shenlong up here. Master grade kits are my bread and butter for mostly what I do. Yeah, I got back into it probably about... I got seriously into it when I started streaming it about 2 or 3 months ago. But before then, I ended up... Usually it was around Christmas. I'd pick up a model on Christmas and do it, but that was about it. Oh, yeah, I can see that. At least the nice thing with the HD models is there's less opportunity to make mistakes because there's less complexity to them, but... Oh, a fully mechanic kit. That's one thing I haven't done, is I haven't done any of the fully mechanic kits. I've heard really nice things about them. But yeah, master grade's my bread and butter. Pretty much most of what I have on the table here are master grades. They're the sweet spot for me of like complexity when I just generally like the size of this. Like I find the little high grade models are a little plinky the size they are, whereas these big ones feel nice on display. The master grade ones. Oh, what am I? Lost my place. 16 and 18. Yeah, welcome, Pharaoh. Good to have you. Yeah, I picked up this. This kit is actually probably the oldest kit I've done so far. Most of the ones I've done have been like from the early 2010s or so. This one's from way back in '98. I kind of picked it up specifically because I wanted to try out an older kit, see what differences there are. It's been fun. There's definitely some differences in design philosophy, but weird. It's like more complex and less complex in ways. Like overall, there's a lot less like building up small pieces into big pieces. There's like just so many pieces are actually like fairly sizable, like this. But then there's stuff like the elbow is a little more complex than it is in the modern kits. Like this chest construction's not, it's about the same but different. If I had to put it into words, it's accomplishing the same level of complexity in a different way. How I would say it. Oh yeah, sure, for sure. Especially since I started branching out, because I originally just did like Gundam Wing models, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. But especially since I started branching out into like other franchises and other Gundam series models, I've been enjoying it a shit ton. I've been even getting into the painting of them a little bit. I did a little bit on this Armored Core mech here. All his weapons came plain gray, so I did a bit of painting on it to give its weapon some color and painted the eyes and gave it some highlighting. Turned out pretty good. Was very time intensive though, I will say. Especially compared to just building them. It probably took me like 3 times as long just to paint it rather than to build it. Which MDE kit was probably my favorite to build? That's kind of a hard one. This Epion was actually pretty fun. This is my most recent one I did. And it was fun because it had a lot of, it has like this transformation gimmick where it turns from the Gundam into this double-headed dragon. And because of that, it actually had a bunch of unique properties on its construction that were neat. But it isn't totally, like I have a Proto Wing Zero I did that has a similar construction, transformation mechanic. But I actually really didn't like its transformed form, so it kind of ended up being a negative. Yeah, clear coding something. I gotta figure that out too, because I'm currently not doing any of that, and especially with this painting, I've heard it's pretty important to put like a clear coat on it, and it makes panel lining on top of the painting a lot easier. So it's something I definitely need to look into as well. Backlight on. Pegs and squeeze. Yeah, that's definitely something I found. The ones I found, the like real grade kits, I've only done 1 or 2 of those. There's a lot of small pieces in those kits. Like I really enjoyed it because it was like a really detailed end product, but the actual construction was a lot more intensive with how tiny the pieces were. But yeah, master grade is a nice middle ground where it's a decent, everything's at a decent scale where even the tiny pieces aren't super small. Like even the smallest pieces on most of my master grid are right at my limit of what I can actually do. Once you get smaller than that, you kind of need to start using like tweezers and other stuff. It's really annoying to me. Cool, we can finally put this on. Do this otherwise. I still am looking forward to, like, I haven't done, obviously because they're so expensive as one factor, but also just because none of the ones that they have in that grade are really appealing to me in the perfect grade, like the super complex ones. Like, I think the only Gundam Wing one they have in that perfect grade is like the wing with the angel wings, which I don't hate, but it's definitely not my favorite design from Wing. I kind of don't want to shell out the perfect grade money for that one. I've mostly just been paying attention to see what new ones they come out with, and hopefully one of them will grab my eye someday. If not, I'll probably end up getting the wing one. Because as I said, I don't hate the design by any means, it's just not my favorite wing design. Probably if I ever see it on sale, I'll pick it up. Cool. Come on, you. Oh, would I be even backwards? That might be it. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Most of mine I actually get from a local store. I do occasionally get them. When I was first getting into it, I got a lot of them online. But I found I found my local store has a really nice online site, and because of that, I ended up getting most of my stuff through them because it just ends up being cheaper than most of the places online I find. Yeah, I'm very lucky that the one that's close to me is pretty nice, from what I can tell. I still haven't gone there in person. I need to go there in person, but because they're local, they have pretty cheap shipping too. Oh, I'm in Western Canada. Not on the coast, but around the mountains. Cool. There's those vents installed. Now for the hatch. All these tiny little plugs. Is that them? Yeah, that's them. Ugh. Those are tiny. Oh, I can absolutely see that. Like one of the things I don't have for my collection that I want to pick up is a pretty nice Zaku. The problem is I can't really find. I wouldn't mind the plain green one, but I also kind of like some of the specialty ones. Yeah, it's true. A lot of the MG grade kits for them are like really old. But yeah, probably my favorite of their like grunt mechs is like the Haigu, and I don't think that has a master grade kit. The only kit I can find for it is like a high grade kit. That's probably my favorite of the like enemy grunt mechs. BBB, go. Detail bolts. Oh, I need that other 14 too. Sorry. Oh, right here. 3 of these. Okay. I heard a piece snap off, but it was just a blank piece of sprue that was left over. So I accidentally hit a piece off. There we go. Let's bolt in place. Hey, these are different. Let me see. There's got to be an orientation for these where they're all kind of aligned, similar. So I was going to insert this one in here. What would it look like? Good. Which would be good for this side. This one out. Oh, and God damn. You have to remake another one. Oh, that's also going to look... Are these just not going to align properly no matter what? Is this the one that's different? This one up here. This one just always. This is like one of those logic puzzles I can't really figure out. I want these in an orientation where they actually look good, and this one random one isn't just off on its own. Oh, I guess these are just... This is actually breaking my brain a little bit. So this one is like 45 degrees off its post. This one, like 45 degrees off the post. This one is like 45 degrees off the post. They're all the same. No matter what, they'll orientate the same when they go in. I see, okay. Yep, okay, so there's really no orientation we can get these where it'll look good. Oh, wells. Just won't look at it too hard. Make sure they're in nice and tight now that I spent a lot of time loosening them up. I could see that. When I came back to Gunpla, I pretty much started with the master grade kits, and they're the main things I've done. I did the high grade kits originally when I was younger. So that was like over 20 years ago at this point. But that is the main reason I also haven't got like a perfect 80 grade. Is I felt very much like I wanted to get the handle on the master grades before I moved up. Cool. Little chest cover. Oh, one more step. Yeah, RGM-79 version 2 and RGM Jegan. Okay. Yeah, I haven't really looked at those kits too closely. I think the next one on my list I'm probably gonna end up picking up is probably the like XN Razor. I really like the design of that one, from what I've seen. Double zero XN Razor, that is, sorry. Oh, okay, this is the little glass semi-piece. Goes in there, okay. Nice. That's it for this piece. Here's so. Well, this is a good opportunity. I've been going for a couple hours now. I'm going to take a quick 10-minute break here to go use the washroom, refill my water. Ooh, have a stretch. I hope you'll all do the same and take care of your needs. And hopefully I will see you when I return. If not, I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Talk to you guys soon. Just find my BRB screen. There it is. Oh, no BGM. Let's fix that. There we go. As I said, I will be back in approximately 10 minutes or so. Talk to you soon. Okay. We are back. How'd you go over there? Civic window. Oh. There we go. Yeah, welcome. Getting back at it. So yeah, got our chest pretty much done. Those did have the arms and our head from earlier. Now I figure, let's do our shoulders so we can attach these arms. Ooh, excuse me. Hey, thanks, Pharaoh. Good to be back. Thanks for joining me. This is A, right? Yes, A. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's wait for a run. You mean like display stand? I've been, especially for master grades, I've been a big fan of the just action-based one. It's very sturdy and it's handled pretty much anything master grade size or so I get thrown at it. If you're mostly doing like high grades, I generally like the I haven't really have a favorite between 4 and 5. They're pretty similar, but they seem to be a better size for like smaller figures. But for master grades, action-based one definitely seems to be the one to go for. As you were saying, yeah, definitely for like 1/100 master grade scale figures, though it's the one for sure. You could, that's the thing, is like you can put the smaller figures on action base one just fine, and you can put the bigger figures on the like 4 or 5 just fine. It's just, it'll be a little out of proportion. Is essentially it. If you're fine with that, it's not a big deal at all. They're functionally going to be just fine. But in terms of, especially, that's the one thing I would say is like, if you're trying to put the bigger kits on like a 4 or 5, it might have some trouble for like the heavier kits. Although I've heard they really like improved it since the originally had it, so maybe it would be perfectly fine. But I definitely find just how well built, like almost all the stands I have on the desk here are action-based ones. Because I find I like the aesthetics of them too, but I also find like they're very sturdy. Like I would be willing to put something that is like 3 or 4 times as heavy as this on it fairly confidently. Especially if it had a proper hookup. The failure point I find is almost always how you're actually holding the figure. I find the arm itself, nothing will actually ever probably do it for the one too much. What am I doing here? I need B and U. Yeah, I've heard the like new 6 they came out with is pretty nice, but I haven't tried that one yet. That one's supposed to be super versatile, pretty much useful for any size kit, and even like multi-kit displays it's supposed to be pretty good for. But I haven't had a reason to it because, as I said, I mostly pick up master grade kits, so one is pretty much going to be what I'll be buying for a long time. Yeah, this one right here is 3 ones all interconnected. And then the Epion in the back here is just on a single one. Yeah, and I do like that aspect of them, that they have like all the edges. You can, every one of these comes with at least one of these edged bricks. So if you have multiple kits, you have enough to pretty much interconnect them in any way you want. I mostly did this because it allowed me to kind of like overlap where the arms are and kind of bring them all into like, this is probably a smaller like desk space than 3 individual one stands together would be, because I was able to extend the arms into the space on the other stands to kind of put them at a height and clustered together a little closer than usual. Ooh, it's going pretty smoothly. I think this is just the shoulder. Doing it out of sequence a little bit because I wanted to get these arms attached. Yeah, there's actually quite a selection of ones with like additional equipment, like the Buster and the what I saw the RGM. That's kind of the XN Razor model I was looking at. The 00 XN Razor is one of those where it has like a really huge backpack that can split into like 4 or 5 different weapons. These shapes. Okay. What's the angled piece inward? The Buster was nice, yeah. It was a pretty fun build. The weapon's actually really cool because, as you said, it has like a bunch of different configurations. I just have it in this thing for posing, but like you can have these weapons are on arms that are actually fairly well articulated on either side. So this can actually come out and have a wide range of poses for connecting them end to end. It was a pretty fun build. Yeah, I was actually pretty happy, and it's a fairly newer one too. So it had the benefit of there's a like the manual is very like overseas English friendly. Not that that's a huge issue with any of these kits, but especially this older one is a little bit more difficult. I would actually have, if I didn't have access to modern translation software, I'd be a little more worried about doing an older kit like this. Oh, that's the thing, is they keep making more, so endless path. That's okay. I kind of like that it's such a wide variety of kits because it means there's a little bit for everyone. Whatever you're into. Just move that back and forth to actuate it a bit. Okay, we got a shoulder. Let's make another. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, especially over the last couple of years, it seems like they're making a real big push for the real grade kits. I noticed, like a lot of the modern kits seem to be. There's a lot of high grade kits still too, as well, being made, but it seems they're really leaning into their real grade kits, which I can see why. Like they're beautiful kits. I just wish they kind of had that much focus on the master grade kits as well. And some connector pieces. Yeah. Get the last piece of my money. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Especially for the display, like there's an aesthetic attractiveness to having the like kind of smaller models. Like I get it, especially if you only have very limited display space. But especially if you have the display space, I can't see why you wouldn't go for the bigger size models. Unless you're all about just building them and don't really care about displaying them, I guess. That definitely seems like a waste. That's definitely a big part of the appeal to me. Like I definitely enjoy the process a lot, but having the end result, having something really cool to display, is also really appealing. Yeah. Go. Too wide. Oh. Oh, my toothpick. Oh well. I have to make a new one if I need to apply stickers later. I haven't really had to apply much stickers here, have I? I haven't supposed to been applying any of these, right? I think so. Oh, maybe. Sure. Jump back in time a bit. Oh yeah, it does say to apply that sticker there. You're like, no, bye. Man, rough shade, aren't you, buddy? Let's grab a fish. Oh, that's a new one. Haven't had that happen to me before. I usually don't bother with too many of the stickers, but I've had pretty good luck the last couple times. I've been starting to try to do them a bit more. I just don't like the ones that all look like safety markings all over it. I don't care about those. I don't actually like how those make the model look. That's just personal preference, though. Oh yeah, I heard those. Oh, the Witch from Mercury. Okay, yeah. I heard the newest series, like the G Wux. I heard all those mechs are pretty neatly designed. I haven't heard much about the Witch from Mercury ones. There we go. I don't think I really care about any of these yet, right? Let me just quickly run over what I've done, just make sure I'm not missing any. Da, 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 da. Cool. Clear there. Yeah, the fins are the worst. I always have difficulty with those. That's why I like the ones where it's well designed, where it's like a bigger piece that just has pieces that poke through for the fins, rather than having to insert the tiny individual fin parts. I've noticed a lot of limbs have started using that, where they just have little juts out of the interior pieces that represent the fins, and then they poke through the armor on top. Here we go. I was looking for any stickers need to go on this step. Yet looks like no. Oh, there. Same with the shoulders. Okay. I understand that completely. Oh, I have to actually make sure, like, especially after that last real grade crit I made, I deliberately look through my build, and if I take note of the parts that require me to have use a lot of small pieces. Just make sure my build doesn't have me do a bunch of those all at once, because I think it was the real grade Evangelion I built. Excuse me 1 second. Throat's getting dry. The chest build up on that was tons of tiny little ribs that you basically had to snap into place at the exact right angle. So you had to keep a pretty tight grip on really tiny pieces that were fairly sharp. And after I did the chest, I went to do the head, and the head was the same way. Just had a ton of tiny little pieces coming together, and my fingers were dead. I literally could not feel my fingers after. So I definitely try to space it out more now when I'm building. But yeah, looks like we're good. Any stickers going on here? Nope. Cool. So let's put some of this stuff together. Does this work? Oh, I have to put the arms in first. I see. Just the angle on this a little bit. Jeez. Launched right out there, eh? Oh, this is awkward. I'd kind of need this arm to give it backing. Yeah, this construction is definitely not easy. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah. Arm on. This. Oop. Construction's definitely easier on modern models. Stand it up. Now let's work it on the rest of the way. There we go. Although now that it's on, it feels sturdy as hell. Yeah, it's for sure. Oh, okay. I was about to say, did I put that arm on backwards? But no, I can spin it right around. Oh yeah. Now for this other one. Yeah, it's definitely that it's a little more crudely built, but I also think they just didn't really think through how you would have to apply pressure on some of these pieces. Like you kind of need to push on this side, and the shoulder's completely blocking it. Where I find a lot of the more modern kits that have stuff like this, the shoulder will then be articulated so it can move out of the way, so you can push it in a bit. They seem to keep construction in mind a little more with the actual design. Oh, they're pretty good, actually. Oh, I'm on you. Not good enough. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's give you a bit more work on there. Yeah, it's not really ball joints. It's pegs and holes. more than anything. It has some ball joints, but they're not like the modern ones. They're much more shallow and have a lot less lot less range of motion. I found that they use ball joints mostly for like connections for swivel like this, rather than actually being able to go like around. Yeah, got those both on. Is there a neck piece for the head? Nope. Just go straight on. Cool. There's where we're at so far. What do we want to do? Well, I guess we'll just work our way down. Let's do the waist. Oh, throat's getting scratchy. It is 1998, so this is 27 years old. I don't know if this kit was actually like made in 1998 or if it was like a later re-release, but the like copyright date on the box is 1998. Right here. Nice. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know if they do like a later run, if they update the date on the box, they have the original date still. But based on how, as I said, the pieces that are supposed to be white are very much not white, I expect this to be probably a fairly old kit. I will say, like, this kit cleans up so easy. Like the plastic, cutting these nibs off, it leaves almost no mar marks. I don't know if it's just because of the age of the plastic or what, but never had an easier time cleaning up the nubs on a kit, I think. Yeah, it's like first shot on most of these, just fine. It honestly feels like it's a little softer. Like that's definitely what I've noticed when I'm cutting it off the sprue initially. It feels like there's like a little bit of squish to it. So I think it's actually like a slightly softer plastic maybe. Or maybe it's just slightly decayed over the years or degraded. But either way, it works out that it just doesn't like mar nearly as much when I'm cutting the nibs off. God, I actually need a lot of soft plastic from this. I noticed this from the older kit. It makes a lot more use of these like softer plastic joint pieces. I don't remember these Massacre kits don't use this nearly as much. Still use them for sure, but it seems to use way less. Two of those, perfect. Oh, this is over here, okay. E. And D. Yeah, I can't say if I remember offhand if that H grade high grade kit I did seemed soft or not. But as I mentioned, that's also like a very new high grade. I think that one just came out like last year. What am I looking for here? One. Okay. Oh, right there. Jeez. I am so blind. No, I haven't found one I really liked. I've picked up 2 or 3 different types, but I haven't really found one I don't find are more of a pain in the ass to use than just line the screws down. The one type I haven't really tried is the ones that use like kind of elastic retaining bands, kind of have it slotting in like that. That's the one type I haven't tried that I think I might eventually try. But I've used a couple type of like plastic tray style ones and haven't really found one I liked. Do you have one you prefer generally, or? Yeah, the main issue is I ran into the ones I tried. Yeah, exactly. It just seemed that it was actively slowing me down to use rather than being convenient. So I had to spend the extra time to like try and make sure it was placed properly without knocking the whole thing over. But I've seen ones that have like basically like elastic kind of stretchy bands stretched across an opening. You basically use that to keep them in place. That seems like that has potential to be okay. But that also seems like the type of thing I'd probably just end up trying to make myself rather than buying one. I thought about like a pegboard solution might not be bad either. I have a wall like right in front of me pretty close here. I could pretty easily probably just have fairly long pegs I could hang stuff from. That wouldn't be too bad either. Dish rack might not be bad. Yeah, that actually probably would work because the main issue I ran into with the plastic trays is the sprues are such an irregular size. Like there's never a consistent size, so it was just awkward. Whereas a dish rack is designed with that in mind, where it's meant for just various sizes. So maybe that would actually work really well. Intermediate step. Oh, I didn't clean this either. Oh, I did. It's weird. Awkward. Round part in. In. Hole facing up. Oh, bring the waist. Easy peasy. I'm using these bread pieces. 17. Wait, really? Oh, A17. Look at the wrong sprue. I didn't do a full painting. I did some these armored core models I picked up. This one came in its like weapons were all these weapons were just plain gray. I didn't really like that, so I went through and did it on the color scheme of the actual color scheme this mech uses in the game. And then I did a little detail painting to light up its eyes and some painting on the chest. It's definitely rough, but it is also the first time I've really done painting on plastic. Didn't turn out too bad though. Oh, the armor guard kits are great. I was actually really impressed with them. The it doesn't pick up on the camera very super well, but what really impressed me is almost all of the like plate pieces have a ton of etching detail on them. Like a lot of it is so small it doesn't even really show up on camera that well, but there's pretty much not a wide panel anywhere on this kit that doesn't have like etched rivet details in it. That makes it look really nice. It's one of the things about those kits that really impressed me. Where were we? All right. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely reminded me. Definitely those are, I'd say, it's a little less complex than a real grade, I'd say, but the like level of detail on the pieces is about the same as a real grade. I'd say it was probably about on par with complexity for like a master grade kit, but like the level of detail on some of the etchings, especially, was very real grade. 17. Here we go. Finally found it. Yeah, I did this Liger Tail, and I did the Nightfall and the Steel Haze. And I'd probably, all three of those are probably ones I'd recommend. The Nightfall is probably the closest to like the standard mech, but it still has quite a bit from it that was different from like the Gundams. Like the thing I mostly noticed doing these compared to doing the Gundams is the Gundams have a very like standard kind of like human shaped chest that makes it so that no matter what of them build, you're kind of building the same shape. Whereas these had a lot of different like shapes to the chests and legs and stuff that makes it very unique from Gundam models. Like the Nightfall one in particular, its cockpit is like very conical, like it's very aerodynamic. So because of that, it's like super long compared to everything else. It was really neat. Yeah, just in kind of like complex construction complexity and like how actual, like when you're putting together, how like complex it is. I found it like there wasn't a ton of like building up really tiny pieces like in real grade kits, but it wasn't as much big chunks just coming together as like high grade kits. I don't have a ton of experience with real grade kits, but I've kind of placed them as being kind of, they're a smaller model overall, but I find they're a lot more complex than the master grade kits in terms of like how much actual like small parts coming together into big parts you do. Now I do that. So yeah, in terms of actually like complexity of how it was to put together, I found it very similar to a master grade. But they are smaller kits. Like this guy's about the same size as master grade, but that's only because he's got the huge 4 legs. The other 2 I have in my cabinet back there are about the same size as high grade. Down. Skirt time. G. RX-78GP02A. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I guess it depends on the kit you get. There was definitely like the arms, the steel haze kit, like the Rusty's mech, the steel haze. That one was definitely a little bit simpler than the others. There were still complex parts, but it was mostly because of how it's designed. It's a very like small, thin mech. There wasn't a whole lot of like build up to a lot of pieces of that one. But like this one was almost like the Liger Tail was almost on par with Master Grade, maybe even a little closer to a real grade. And then the Nightfall was pretty much bang on a Master Grade. Maybe a little less complex in the arms, but legs and chest and everything was about the same. One thing I will say with these kits, I was a little disappointed in the weapons. The weapons are very simple. They look really good, like the end result looks really nice, but like they sell like weapon kits for these things for like 30 bucks for 4 weapons, and I don't really think that's worth it, because like each of these weapons individually is probably like 3-4 pieces that all fairly big pieces that all just kind of snap together. There's not a whole lot of complexity in the actual weapon design, so I can't say I recommend like the weapon packs, but the actual models themselves seem okay. Cool. Oh, wait, more. Oh, let's do this for now, and then we'll keep going after we get these pieces on. These are the 30 millimeter kits. Yeah, the 172 are Kotobuki, I think. These ones are straight up Bandai. These are the same guys who do the Gunpla. I think the 172s are like a different company. I hear they're still pretty good, but I haven't done a whole lot of those. I can't really speak on that. Yeah, and from my understanding, the 172s tend to be they do have some from the new game, but a lot of them are from the older games. Like if you want models from the older Armored Core games, you pretty much have to go to that company. I think 30 millimeter only has the new series, which is fine because I really like the new series. But I also like the old series, so that'll probably end up being the first like Kotobuki kit I pick up. There's someone from the old Armored Core games. I haven't tried any of them, but I've heard really positive things. Pretty much every time I end up, pretty frequently when I'm streaming, people come in recommending them to me. I have a list written down with all the companies that have been recommended to me, but I don't have it on hand, unfortunately. I've heard good things, but I haven't tried them myself. Yeah, one thing I would like to try is like a kit with like an LED, like support for LEDs, and to do something like that. Those kits seem really cool. I unfortunately just don't have a lot of affinity for a lot of the models that come with LED kits. Like the Unicorn's the big example of one that comes with a really cool LED kit. I just don't really care about that one at all. Like the transformation gimmick's cool, but I don't really like it. Like I kind of like it more when it's untransformed, and even then, it's still it's I can't help not say it's not generic when it's not transformed, but I kind of like it more. Yeah, same. I don't really have an affinity for any of those ones. Oh, I gotta wait for one more of these. ECD. Oh yeah, I hear like the actual construction process for those kits is great, but I just don't care for the actual design itself. So it's kind of a moot point. Oh, okay, so that's how these attach. These first. Yeah, this is like a different way to attach these skirt plates too. Not like this one of the like soft rubber gussets they go into. I've seen designs that have like a straight pole going through, and these kind of hang. Like, the high grades do that a lot. I've noticed to simplify the skirt design, but this one's actually got like a lot of weird bit of posability. I find usually they have like a ball joint coming off the hip on the modern kits. Primary thing I look for is the design. Like I have to like how the actual robot looks is the primary thing for me. And then I don't know. As I said, after that, right now it's mostly just because I kind of wanted to try out a wide variety of stuff. I kind of just look for different stuff. But the design's usually a big point. Design's probably number one, and then probably uniqueness is honestly probably what I look for secondly. Like if it has anything unique about it, it probably has a lot more appeal to me. But I obviously need to like the design and overall anyway, without it being unique. But I find if it has like a unique feature to it, it usually makes the construction of it fairly interesting. G. Let's see. This one. Oh. Ah, there it is. I move stuff around. I was a fan of Gundam Wing was the one that I watched a bunch when I was a kid, and I got super nostalgic for it. But I haven't really watched much of the actual Gundam animes. I've mostly been a fan of the models more than anything. As I say, Wing is almost entirely just because like I actively went back and tried to watch Wing, and actually had more fun laughing at it than watching it. So definitely isn't like a big reference to the source material or anything, but I just really like the designs on a lot of them. A good chunk of nostalgia. K. Which one was K again? He was one of these. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but one thing I have noticed with the older kits, instead of having the letters be punched through so you can easily see it from either side, it has it just like etched on. So you have to like look a lot harder to find which letter it is. K5. It's definitely some quality of life things I've noticed. Oh, we need one more. G1. Hmm. Yeah, it's neat because the way they've done these side skirts is fairly similar to how they do a lot of the modern ones. It's just the attachment point is different. Like they, as I said, they make really heavy use of these like soft rubber gusset pieces rather than I notice on the modern ones it's mostly just ball joint, hard plastic on hard plastic. Ball joints are hinges. They use a lot of hinges. I should say. Yeah, yeah, same. I do want to try a perfect grade, as I said, but none of the, as I said, I used to hate the angel wing design wing. I've definitely warmed up to it a little bit, but I used to hate it. And I still have a little bit of reluctance to make that my first perfect grade. Yeah, I definitely warmed up to it over the years, especially as I like look back and see how much actual like intricate mechanical design there is actually going on there. But yeah. Yeah, also doesn't help that I haven't heard the best things about that kit. That's definitely one of the like lower end of the perfect grade spectrum I've heard people talk about when they talk about the perfect grade kits. Yeah, obviously if people were talking it up and saying it was great, unanimously I'd get for it, but there's definitely a kind of like a mixed reaction to it. Yeah, that's absolutely true. The pricing is definitely a factor. I really think it'll probably end up being it one day when if I can ever find it on sale, I'll end up picking it up. But I don't think I'll probably ever pay full price for one. Ah, who knows? You never know where you'll end up. Yeah, that's also been my main issue with a lot of the like third-party kits. Is some of them the prices are just ridiculous. That's true. That's definitely it. Yeah. It is interesting to see. Definitely, like public opinion on whether kits like fun to build definitely affects my thing. Like I have a couple more kits in my backlog. Probably in like 2 or 3 kits from now, I'm gonna be doing a master grade Gundam Barbatos, and I picked that one up almost specifically because people just gushed over it as being super fun to build. Ooh, there's one on the side. Oh wait, those look capped over. No, I guess it's. Oh, okay, and then these pieces go. I see. Okay. Just misunderstanding the drawings. Oh, these are actually pretty rigid. I like this actually. They don't actually have very much back and forth play. Just one omnidirectional. I don't hate that because I find a lot of the times with these side skirts they have so much posability that they end up just going cattywampus when you don't want them to. Cool. Where are we at now? back skirts. Yeah, I don't mind it. I kind of definitely like it's hard because I don't mind the base model and I don't mind the like final like Lupus Rex version, but I find the one that's like in between them kind of sucks. I don't know. I also just kind of like it reminds me a lot of the mechs in like Breakblade, where there was a lot of just like my weapon is a giant fucking lance. That has a certain appeal to me for sure. Yeah, I got about 3 kits past what I have right now. I actually used to do about 2 model building streams a week, but I kind of slowed down because I realized I was burning through my backlog a little quicker than I wanted to. Yeah, well, it's mostly the way my like local shop works is they have like a virtual warehouse type system where you can basically store up purchases over like 2 or 3 months and they'll ship them out all at once. And I basically do that to pick up a model like uh, every couple weeks, and then when I have enough models build up to get free shipping, I ship it out. So I usually get it in bunches like 5 or 6 models every like 3 or 4 months. Because I usually just keep an eye out to see what's on sale and pick it up, and once it builds up to free shipping, I ship it out. I found generally master grade kit ends up being 10 hours roughly, I find. Obviously it depends on the kit a little bit, but I find that's generally what it is. Especially recently, because I've been doing all my building on stream recently. It works out almost perfectly to be a little bit more than 2 streams. I usually stream for about 4 hours. Oh, I say that as that was my rotation. I've done that exactly once so far. And I currently, this is probably all I'm going to be picking up for this year. I think I have a pre-order in for like 2 more models later in the year. And I think that's probably going to do me for the rest of this year. We'll see, though. As I say, you never know what happens, but I kind of want to ration out what I have now to make it last as long as possible. 12 and 13. Yeah, the one high-grade kit I did was pretty simple. I did that in pretty much 1 stream, so it was about 5 hours. But I've also gotten quicker at this. I think when I first started, it was probably closer to 15 hours for a master grade kit. So I've definitely sped it up. Well, that was also because I was just getting used to streaming as well. So talking while working was not something that happened. I was either talking or I was working. 7 and 8. Here. Should be everything I need. Yeah, I hope you enjoy doing the master grade kits. As I said, it's pretty much been my preferred niche. I like real grade crits, but especially if you have issues with the high grade kits, the pieces being too small, the real grade crits are just going to be more of that, but worse. They're really nice kits, but it's rough. I shouldn't say that like I mentioned. I've done exactly one real grade crit, but from what I see of the other real grade crit I've picked up and what I've seen of other people doing real grade crits, they all kind of seem to be that way. Oh, for sure. Oh, that's the thing. It's like I don't think I've ever done a kit I didn't enjoy building. It's just levels of preference. Yeah, and that being said, like even if it was a lot of small pieces building up to the big piece, the end result was really nice. Like that process of building up from tons and tons and tons of small pieces gives it a lot of depth and detail and stuff. It just hurts my fingers. Oh, yeah, this is unique. I've never really seen this on a skirt. It has like a half piece that goes over, and then another half piece that goes over the back to lock it on like a, yeah, and then it rotates on the piece. That's unique. I haven't seen that. Let's see on that side. Back here. Out of the way. Why is this rock? Oh, okay, just it's not fully inserted. I see. Yeah. Well, the big part of this guy is like he has a huge ass shield and bazooka that are really cool. So his weapons are definitely part of the design that make him good for me. He's also got like huge shoulder boosters. The base design of this isn't definitely the part that super appeals to me. Definitely more the accessories, but it does nice. It is cool, especially like when we get to the legs, which probably unfortunately won't be tonight. I think that'll probably be next week when I get to the legs. There we go. But as you can already kind of see from where this design is going, this is a very bottom heavy design. Because if you haven't noticed yet, here's the feet. You see a proportion issue with these feet. Yeah, let's show you a little preview of what's going to be coming up. Yeah, he's got big old stompers. Yeah, there you can see him. This is the other thing with the older manual. There's like a ton of like hand illustrated art in this manual that the modern manuals don't have any of. Yeah, that's what the kind of the final design looks like a little bit. I do hear with this huge ass shield he has, I heard he can't hold it up even a little bit. And as you can see on this picture, the shield, it's definitely sitting on the ground, just kind of being propped up. Which I don't mind. I'll probably come up with like a stand solution to make it actually look really good. But yeah, that's probably gonna do it for me for tonight for my stream. Come back next Wednesday, we'll be putting the legs on her and then getting the weapons and boosters on her. And that'll be next Wednesday. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining me this evening. If you haven't already, give me a follow on Twitter, on Twitter, Twitch, and a subscribe on YouTube. I have been uploading my VODs there. I kind of gotten lazy on that, but I'm going to be getting back to the habit this weekend. So feel free to check that out if you wanted to see some of my previous builds. And let me check something real quick. See if there's anyone streaming I want to raid. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Probably good tonight. The people I usually raid are here on tonight. Yeah, thank you once again, everyone, for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow night for not quite sure what, something gaming. I'll either be building my factory in Satisfactory, or maybe I'll continue climbing the tower in Zenless. I'm not sure. But I'll be back at my usual streaming time, 6 Mountain Daylight Time PM. Usually stream for about 4 or 5 hours every night. 4 for at least, if I'm feeling it a little more. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. I will see you again next time. Take care, everyone.